Hi there, my name is DJ Waldow, and I turned 50 on February 23rd, 2026. So, for the next 50 days, I'm sharing one thing I've learned over the almost 50 years on this planet. Today's thing is do what you say. We all have those friends or acquaintances we know that when they say they're going to do something, we know it's actually pretty unlikely they're going to follow through. They don't do what they say they're going to do. I'm not one of those people. In fact, I take it, not surprisingly, often to the other extreme. If you ask me to do something and I commit to it, there's a pretty darn good chance that I'm going to follow through all the way and do it. In fact, I want my tombstone to say, amongst other things, DJ always did what he said he was going to do. DJ followed through. I could count on DJ. And I don't say that lightly. I think doing what you say you're going to do builds trust and builds credibility. I seek out friendships with people who follow through. To me, there's nothing worse than that commitment, and you are going to count on somebody. You're waiting on somebody to meet you somewhere or to be your wingman or wingwoman in something, and they don't show up or they don't follow through. I mean, when people don't follow through on what they say they're going to do, it's a huge letdown. I tell my kids this all the time. If you commit to doing something, mowing somebody's lawn, for example, you better be there. If you say you're going to be at practice, you better be there. Do what you say you're going to do. I think it's foundational. I think this is something that builds trust and builds your reputation. You don't want to be known as the person who doesn't follow through, who doesn't do what they say they're going to do. And I try as best I can to emulate that. This podcast is a perfect example. I said I was going to do 50 things, and darn it, I'm going to do 50 things. Well, hopefully. I think we're only up to 35, so the plan is to make it all the way to 50. Stand-up comedy, said I was going to do it, did it. 10-day retreat, signed up, going to do it in the future. I really try to follow up and do the things I say I'm going to do because for me, that is just so core to who I am. We see this in parenting all the time. And again, I'm guilty of this, obviously, those empty threats. If you don't do this, this is going to happen. Or we won't go out to dinner until you clean your room. And yet we still go out to dinner. Why? Because as parents, we want to still go out to dinner. It's hard to follow through. But those empty threats are things that kids notice and recognize. And so why would they change their behavior if no, you're not going to follow through, if you're not going to do what you say you're going to do? That empty threat or that empty promise. And it can go both ways. It could be a threat or it could be something that says, we're going to do something really fun. Or I promise you that we're going to go to Legoland, and then you don't follow through. And again, I realize there's always circumstances for things to change and plans to change. But for the most part, do what you say you're going to do. I see this a lot with work also, and coworkers and teammates. When you're working on a team, you're relying on somebody to do what they say they're going to do. When you're a leader and you're delegating tasks to people, everybody has to do their job or the job doesn't get done. I've been on many teams in the past where we've had a weak link. There was somebody that did not do what they say they were going to do. They didn't follow through. And that person struggles in their career because nobody wants to be on a team with somebody, whether it's work or life, that is not following through. So I talk a lot about this to young people and to my kids in particular about when you make that commitment to something, you have to see it through. And I see this a lot with sports with kids. And I think parents let their kids off a lot of times. When you sign up for a sport, you're going to go to practice. Sure, there'll be times where you have to miss, but for the most part, you said you were going to play on the team. So do what you're going to do. Commit to it and follow through all the way. One of the ways I hold myself accountable to this often is I put things out publicly. So I've been saying publicly that I'm going to do stand-up comedy. I'm going to do this podcast. Or I'm going to go on a silent retreat. Once you say it publicly, you're held more accountable to it. Again, things change, situations change, but putting something out there in the world forces you to follow through. This is why people join gyms and this is why people join weight loss groups or running clubs because of that accountability. If you say you're going to do it, get it done. All right, that's it. Do what you say. As always, if you like this episode, please share it with somebody that it resonates with. Go on the social medias and like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all the things. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you.